Imagine, if you will, a night so cold, each breath crystallizes in the air. A night where the moon hangs high and full, its silver light barely piercing the inky blackness. A night where the only sounds are the distant hoot of an owl and the lonely howl of the icy wind as it whistles through the skeletal trees. Nestled in the heart of this desolate landscape, an ancient house stands. A house so old, it creaks and groans under the weight of its own history. Its weather-beaten walls bear the scars of countless storms, its windows eerily reflecting the moonlight. It's a house that has seen better days, its grandeur now faded into a mere ghost of its former glory. And yet, despite its isolation and antiquity, this house is not empty tonight. Against the backdrop of the biting cold and the eerie silence, a lone figure can be seen. Our protagonist, a brave or perhaps foolhardy soul who, against his better judgment, decided to spend the night in this forsaken place. He stands in the doorway, looking out into the darkness, his breath visible in the frosty air. He can feel the chill seeping into his bones, but it's not just the cold that sends shivers down his spine. There's an unsettling stillness to this place, a silence that is almost too perfect. It's as if the house and the surrounding wilderness are holding their breath, waiting for something. The protagonist steps inside, the door creaking shut behind him. The house seems to sigh, as if welcoming him into its cold, dark embrace. He lights a fire, the flickering flames casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. The warmth is a small comfort against the encompassing cold, a tiny beacon of light in the vast darkness. And then, in the depth of the silence, a sudden, distant noise disturbs the peace. A noise that doesn't belong. A noise that makes the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. But what could it be? As the protagonist settles in, the house seems to awaken with a life of its own. The soft hum of the heating system is the only thing breaking the silence, a comforting rhythm in the otherwise still house. But as the protagonist starts to feel at home, a whisper of unease begins to creep in. It's subtle at first, almost imperceptible. A faint scratching noise, like tiny claws scurrying across the wooden floors, echoes from the distant corners of the house. The protagonist brushes it off, attributing it to the house's age and the chilly wind outside. But then, there's a sudden drop in temperature, a cold spot that sends a shiver down their spine. It's a cold that seeps into the bones, a chill that feels like a ghostly touch. The shadows begin to play tricks on the protagonist's eyes. They seem to dance and flicker, forming unsettling shapes that disappear as soon as they're noticed. The protagonist starts to feel a prickle at the back of their neck, a feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. It's as if the house is alive, its walls whispering secrets that only the shadows understand. A creeping sense of dread starts to take hold, a fear that something else is in the house. It's not just the strange noises, the cold spots, or the dancing shadows. It's a feeling that goes beyond the physical, a presence that fills every room, lurks in every corner. The protagonist's heart starts to race, their breaths coming in short, sharp gasps. They're no longer at ease, the comfort of the humming heating system drowned out by the unsettling symphony of the house. They're not alone, and the realization sends a jolt of terror through them. Suddenly, a loud crash echoes through the house, sending our protagonist into a panic. The house is no longer a sanctuary, but a haunting labyrinth of fear and uncertainty. In the pitch black, the whispers begin. They're soft at first, like the rustling of dried leaves in a gentle breeze, practically imperceptible. But our protagonist can't shake the feeling that he's not alone. The whispers grow in volume, yet they remain unintelligible, a mysterious cacophony that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. The darkness around him seems to pulsate with the whispers, as though the very night itself is alive and communicating with him. The hushed tones weave together, creating an eerie symphony that sends chills down his spine, causing every hair on his body to stand on end. The whispers grow louder, more insistent, yet their origin remains elusive. It's as if the walls themselves are speaking in a language long forgotten, a language of fear and dread. Our protagonist's heart pounds in his chest like a frantic drummer, matching the rhythm of the whispers. His breath comes out in short, ragged gasps as he tries to comprehend the situation. He strains his ears, trying to decipher the whispers, but they remain an enigma, a puzzle that his panicked mind can't solve. The tension escalates. It's a palpable thing, thick enough to cut with a knife. The whispers become a relentless tide, a wave of sound that threatens to engulf him. His fear is a living entity now, a monstrous beast that feeds on the whispers, growing stronger with each passing moment. Suddenly, the whispers change. They coalesce, merging into a single voice that rings out in the darkness, clear and terrifying. The word it forms is simple, yet it carries a weight that threatens to crush our protagonist. Leave. The word echoes in the silence that follows, a chilling command from the unseen presence. Then, in a moment of terrifying clarity, the whispers form a single, chilling word: leave. It's a command, a warning, a threat. The word reverberates through the darkness, resonating with the terror that has gripped our protagonist, leaving him with no doubt about what he must do next. Our protagonist, driven by fear and curiosity, begins to uncover the house's dark past. In the dimly lit, cobweb-laden corner of the house, a secret door creaks open to reveal a room that time forgot. It's an eerie place, filled with odd trinkets and mysterious relics, each one more unsettling than the last. There's an air of ancient dread that hangs heavy in the room, a chilling reminder of the house's grim history. Among the dust-covered artifacts, our protagonist finds an old, leather-bound diary. Its pages, yellowed and brittle with age, hold a terrifying account of the house's past residents. As our protagonist turns the pages, a cold shiver runs down their spine. It's not just a diary, it's a chronicle of horrors, a testament to the evil that once resided within these walls. The diary tells a tale of a family who lived in the house many generations ago. They were tormented by unseen forces, plagued by misfortune, and haunted by ghostly apparitions. The entries grow increasingly frantic and desperate as the family is driven to the brink of madness. Each page turned unveils a new chapter of terror, the narrative growing darker with every word. The once cheerful family home was transformed into a living nightmare, a prison of fear and despair. The diary paints a vivid picture, so real, so terrifying, that our protagonist could almost hear the cries for help echo through the centuries. As they reach the end of the diary, a chill runs down their spine. The final entry, scrawled in shaky handwriting, reads, "They're here, and they're angry. I fear I won't survive the night." The diary ends abruptly, the chilling words hanging in the air like a ghostly whisper. The revelation is clear. The house is haunted, its past residents trapped in a never-ending cycle of terror. The diary's last entry, "They're here, and they're angry. I fear I won't survive the night." The chilling words echo in our protagonist's mind, a sinister revelation that sends a wave of fear coursing through their veins. As the clock strikes midnight, the real horror begins. Our protagonist, alone in the darkness, is no longer merely a spectator to the strange happenings in this haunted dwelling. He is now a participant in a chilling dance with the paranormal, locked in a race against time. The house seems to come alive, its very bones creaking in protest as angry spirits make their presence known. The air grows heavy, weighted with a malice that is almost tangible. It's a dread that seeps into the soul, a fear that pierces the heart. This is no mere trick of the light or play of shadows. It's an ethereal warning, a spectral threat that cannot be ignored. Our protagonist, though terrified, does not falter. He understands the gravity of his situation, the mortal danger that lurks in every shadow, in every corner of the haunted house. He knows he's not alone. He can feel the spectral eyes on him, watching his every move, feeling his every breath. He's in their world now, a world where time is twisted and reality is warped. The spirits are restless, unsatisfied, their anger echoing through the halls of the house like a storm. They need something, some form of release or retribution, and our protagonist must find out what it is. He must explore the depths of the unknown, delve into the house's dark past, and unravel the secrets that hold these spirits captive. With every tick of the clock, the tension mounts. The air grows colder, the shadows darker. The spirits grow more insistent, their spectral cries more desperate. Our protagonist races against time, his every move a gamble, his every decision a potential lifeline or a death sentence. In these final heart-stopping moments, the house reveals its final secret. Our protagonist stumbles upon a shocking discovery, a revelation that shakes him to his core and changes everything. The spirits, it seems, were not the only ones trapped in this house. But to find out more, You'll just have to wait and see. In the final, heart-stopping moments, our protagonist makes a shocking discovery that changes everything. With dawn breaking, our protagonist must make his final move. The tension is palpable as he uses the cryptic clues from the diary, a last resort to pacify the restless spirits. Each whispered word is a gamble, a plea to the unknown. The eerie silence that follows is broken only by the distant crowing of a rooster. The climax is reached, the spirits appeased. As he steps out of the house, the sun rises, leaving our protagonist and us with an unforgettable chill.